So right now I am fresh off of finishing this week's episode of One Punch Man, and it just left me speechless. Like, by far, if I could put it in one simple phrase, 10 out of 10. Just fucking 10 out of 10. This episode of One Punch Man was so fucking good because it just threw in a few curveballs in there that I did not expect to feel from watching any episode of One Punch Man. And it was just phenomenal. It was beautiful, it was epic, it was funny as shit. It literally had all three of my favorite genres collabed into one episode. Humor, action, and the feels. Oh my god! The feels. But before we get into that, let's start from the beginning. So immediately, as soon as this fight starts, Genos gets into high gear. It's like, no, fuck this, I ain't talking no shit. My name is Genos, take this punch, bitch. And he just goes in, wrecks Deep Sea King through that fucking wall. And honestly, for a very good couple of seconds, I thought Deep Sea King was done because Genos, even though we all know Saitama is stronger than Genos, Genos just has that flair and eye candy that people believe that once he does something, that's it. The enemy is done. If he punches them, they're done. If he does a combo, it was just so fucking awesome because it was like a mixture of Dragon Ball Z and One Piece where Deep Sea King and Genos were just blasting each other at light speed. It felt like an episode of Dragon Ball Z. And then when Genos just fucking Gomu Gomu no Machine, I'm telling you, I was at the edge of my seat. I loved it. I just loved watching this fight. Genos was going in, not giving two shits what Deep Sea King had to say. He wasn't here to talk. He was here to make some business. So it was so fucking awesome to see. But then when he comes in and rips Genos' arms off and just blasts him straight into the wall, I just started grabbing my hair. I'm like, Saitama, where are you? And then came the scene where Genos jumped in the way of one of Deep Sea King's acid spit attacks or whatever, and that ate away at Genos so bad. And it was, for me, it was hard to look at him like that. To me, it looked like he was crippled. He was like a vegetable when Deep Sea King spit that acid on him. And he just looked so vulnerable. And I hated seeing Genos like that because Genos, he's such a badass. And seeing him in that vulnerable of a state, I wanted Saitama, someone, to come in and fucking wreck Deep Sea King before he did any more damage. But lo and behold, it was not Saitama that came to the rescue of Genos. It was Mumen Rider. And at first, I thought it was really funny how Mumen Rider just went in and Deep Sea King just grabbed him and just started ragdolling him right on the floor. I started laughing because I thought it was supposed to be a joke. But as the beating continued, I started to feel really, really bad because it wasn't a moment to laugh at. It was supposed to be a moment where even in the face of death, this hero is out to protect people. And honestly, I felt so bad for laughing at him earlier. And then when Mumen Rider gave that speech, oh my god, I almost cried. I almost cried. I'm not even fucking kidding. It hit me right in the feels. Just his whole speech on people are always cheering for their S and A class heroes, sometimes even B class, but then the C class heroes don't get any room to shine even though they're out there trying to protect the people around the city, and they're never the ones that are called on. And it just kept hitting me right here every time Deep Sea King just slapped around Mumen Rider and just threw him and ragdolled him all over the battle arena. And I felt so bad. But then once they started cheering for him, it started bringing my hopes up because at least the people can appreciate that this man, even though he's not that powerful, he is still trying to protect you and he deserves that respect. And that's one of the things that I never saw coming from One Punch Man. Never did I believe at the beginning of this series was it ever gonna hit me in the feels. I thought it was just humor and epicness wrapped into one. And it surprised me. It threw in a curveball in there, and I had to give it props for that because it wasn't overdone. It wasn't too deep and unnecessary. It was just the right amount of emotion to make me feel that, wow, I actually respect Mumen Rider. And when Saitama came in, that punch he gave Deep Sea King, that shit fucking echoed in my mind. I'm like, fuck yeah, put that bastard in the ground. And it was, oh my god. They don't call him One Punch Man for nothing, and damn it, Saitama is God. Now the second half of the episode, it went into the humor aspects of One Punch Man, where Genos and Saitama are reading the fan mail that they received from everyone in the hero registration and even the civilians. And it was really funny to see, like, you know, Genos getting the fangirls mail and him blushing and shit. And then it was so fucking funny when the first, like, letter Saitama opens, it's some guy roasting his ass like, screw you, you bastard, you fucking cheat. And at first I'm like, wow, that's actually pretty funny. Some guys are still being fucking haters and just like bashing on Saitama. But then it did like a little bit of a flashback where this little shit is trying to roast all the heroes that just try to defend his snotty little ass and all the civilians within that evacuation site. And he's just saying like, oh, you know, heroes are supposed to be heroes. They're supposed to beat monsters. What do you say about all these heroes when they couldn't beat that monster? And a C-class comes in and one punches him. And immediately people started creating doubt, thinking like, oh wow, all these heroes, they're really pretty shitty. Like, oh man, this is fucking ridiculous. And then Saitama throws himself under the bus and creates the illusion that he was in it to try and get that one last shot so he can take the credit. Therefore, maintaining the praise that all the other heroes were getting previously before that little shit decided to come in and ruin the mood and the feeling and all that. So Saitama, mad respect for what he did, because all in all, had that little piece of shit not been there, Saitama would have been just blasted up to S rank without a doubt. But since he threw himself under the bus and made it seem like he came in and finished off a weakling monster that was beaten down from the other previous heroes, he only went up to Class B, which is still a pretty commendable feat. But again, it's just, we all know Saitama deserves top tier, S-class rank, whatever, and he just didn't get it in this episode. But I'm so glad that the hero registry realized, like, hey, this guy is down for some business. We need to bump him up to Class B because shit, he is not a C-class hero. I can tell you that much right now. And my man, Pooty Prisoner, making a return. I love seeing this guy. I hope he appears in every other episode. This guy is just fucking hilarious. It was really sad to see that in the paper they're referring to him as a failure, but I'm hoping he could like overcome that, maybe join up and team with Saitama and Genos. I don't know what's gonna happen. I just want to see more of this guy because I fucking love him. And that's pretty much it. This entire episode, again, feels, humor, and epicness all wrapped in one. 10 out of fucking 10. I don't know what can top this episode. I'm hoping the last episode of One Punch Man can just do the same thing or even more. We'll fucking see and wait. But let me know what you all think in the comments below, what you thought of this episode. Did you laugh? Did you cry? Did you just shit your pants from the epicness? Because it was just a fantastic episode and I cannot stress that enough. But that's pretty much all that I have for this video. If you enjoyed it at all, or even the episode itself, leave me a thumbs up down below. I would really greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, there you go. You got on his keys right now. Click that subscribe button and stay up to date with all my future content and videos. I'm Mr. Ajax, and as always, thanks for watching.